Welcome to my most regretted unboxing in maybe ever. This is something that I feel really, really bad about, but also really excited about. I'll go ahead and explain. All right, so obviously the thumbnail and title are gonna let you know exactly what's going on, but you might even see like freaking dog hair and junk on here. So what is going on with Harakiri here? It came at probably the worst time imaginable in my life, like pretty much my entire life. I guess when I was like 2, it may have been a bad time too. I love the unboxing experience would be quite as good, but certainly recently the worst time. It went to my old address, which, I was pretty much completely moved out of by the time it arrived. I then had to wait until I could eventually go and pick it up from the new people that lived there. So I got that. They were nice enough to set it out there on the porch, and I was able to grab it from that. But then on top of that, I was in the middle of moving. I didn't have a permanent location yet. And so I literally had to put it into storage. So it was in there a while, and then it came back in, but then I had all these obligations for some other unboxings, and I was in the middle of moving as well. And so it just, everything kind of culminated into it just getting sidelined. And that is such a travesty because I loved the prototype of this, and I'm super excited to see this. Additionally, Harakiri is made by an indie studio in Spain, I believe, and they need, to actually get some video time in. This is why I like doing this channel so much, because thanks to my patrons and YouTube members and all of you guys that are liking and subscribing and commenting, all that helps the channel really kind of be able to focus on what I enjoy and not just whatever gets me the most views. So I can cover niche things, I can cover indie things, I can cover all of this and not charge them anything, and just kind of have a great time experiencing their creation, as opposed to, having some kind of business transaction with them. So super excited. As you can see, it's a lot here. Now, my understanding, as I take this out of the big box here, I don't know how good this will be visually because it's just so big. I might have to take it a little off camera here, but they are coming out with a reprint plus expansion, I believe, and I think that's on GameFound. So regardless, any relevant links for them, I'm going to go ahead and put... Oh, look at that. So freaking cool. I'm going to go ahead and put that down in the description below. So feel free to check that out. Take a look at what they have to offer. Go ahead and support them. This is by Synergic Games. And like I said, they're an indie company that has, I think, created something quite unique and different in this space. And I'm excited to see the final product. So many, the art, the style, so cool. So cool. We even have a whole bunch of sleeves here. Packaged very well. It survived multiple moves at this point now. So that's good that it did so well. We got a art book. I love the art in this, so super excited about that. Just the overall style is really cool. And then, there's more and more and more, guys. Here's the Kickstarter. I'm running out of room here. This was packed tight, guys. And it looks like one final thing here. It looks like a dice tray. No, actually, there's a dice tray. And then I see some metal coins. Ooh, excited about it. Come on. And some dice. Oh, okay. I am... Oh, and more. Dear Lord. And more. And more. And more. Okay. Get that box out of here. I'm going to adjust the camera. We're going to get all situated. I'm going to dive in. Okay. I figure we'll start with the Neoprene mat because this is going to get messy and I want to lay this out. I might even have it as the background, but perhaps not. Sometimes, I don't know. You let me know. What do you think visually looks better? Having a kind of a clean, light background like the table, or having a more busy background but as thematic as well for the Neoprene mat. Okay, so here is Neoprene mat. It was folded, so I'll have to kind of unfold it a little bit. I think there's a few things you can do to unfold it. I don't smell anything weird. Doesn't smell like fish. Nothing strange like that. So Bees the Rising Sun. It's quite thick. It looks like the saturation is pretty good. I'll compare it to the actual game board though to see. And it is all stitched edged as well, so it looks quite nice there. So as long as this is flat though, it looks like it has kind of everything. I can read it all. The resolution maybe could be a little bit higher. It does look a little kind of blown up perhaps. Again, this is a little bit grainy. And the text maybe isn't quite as crisp as I would like, but it fits the painting style pretty good, and it's still obviously legible. And again, just feels great, of course. Let me see if I can zoom out a little bit so you can actually see the whole thing. There you go. There you oh, look at that. Look at that. Perfect. So there's this one. And then on the back, yep. It's got another little area here, which is kind of cool. So as you can see, the OSL, the object source lighting around everything looks great, of course. Very dynamic. You can see kind of the shadow areas where there's not a lot of lighting. Why they didn't add lighting on a big room like that, I don't know, but they only got four things to light there. That's okay. No, it looks great though. Looks really good. All the boxes, so you can kind of see where everything is. So I think that goes good. Outside, there's nothing though within this area besides the little tiny whites, and those are actually kind of hard to see. Like here, it's a little bit easier because it's square, right? Same with this, they're square. But in the, like, it's very difficult to see these pluses. I can see them. I don't know if you can see them on camera. I can't tell my little viewfinder here. But if we zoom in, you'll be able to see, like, right there. See? Like, really, really faint. Which, you know, it's a balance between usability and looks, of course. Because you don't want it to look too gamey either. But either way, that's the neoprene mat. It looks good. Like I said, I'm going to keep it kind of handy for a comparison of how like saturated it is. A lot of times they might not be as colorful as the board game. It can just be difficult because of how the threading naturally works on these. But for now, looks cool. I'm going to go ahead and fold it right where it was again. It's like I'm hurting nothing. It's already folded like that. All right, let's go ahead and move this to the side and get into the core box is what we're going to do first. So the front of the core box is actually this. This is the first image I ever saw of Harakiri, and I fell in love with it instantly because of just how cool that looks. Everything about this is something I'm interested in. I love how this guy is like Shredder, like the third time he comes back. It's just, from like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, he just gets more and more spikes, right? So super spiky, huge. As you can see, he's tall even when he's like lumbering down. He's got this huge blade, and here's this lone rogue, like Ronin guy that's gonna like go and fight him. I love this, right? With like the Blades of Honor, and it looks cool, it looks epic. I love the style of this, I really do. I also love, again, how much this is not really set for retail. It's got the logo here, it's got a logo here, and it's got a little bit of an art mechanical thing here. I think that's mechanics, which is fine, but overall, it's mostly just the art, and I really appreciate that. But then on the back, this is what I really love. Again, when you back a Kickstarter, they know you like the game. You don't have to sell them on it. This is not something I picked off the shelf. And so they have this full art here on the back. I love this. It looks so cool. Love to see like the demons here on display. I just all about this is cool. Even like the little, like how it draws everything in and the framing. It's cool. It's cool. All there is to it. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. All right, now I'm going to try and carefully cut this. The careful is the hard part. I feel like I've already messed up. This side here is a little bit tighter. There we go. I think we're good. I think we're good. Ideally, that just allows me to do that. Exactly. There we go. Look at that. I'm a professional, guys. Okay. There we are. Okay. It's very heavy. It's a very box full of stuff, lots of cards and stuff. There is a little bit of a ding here, at least how it was shipped to me. I think, and this is what makes it so sad, is I think they may have tried to give me like a early copy. And again, obviously I'm not early here, but I'm here for their second one and I'm excited for it. The glue job looks fantastic. It's almost perfectly lined up. There's no gaps on here. This is actually one of the best ones I've seen. It's pretty rare not to have any gap on any of the corners. That'll catch and get dust and stuff like that. I'm talking about like the corners like right here. Right, sometimes those get some overlap, but this is very nice, very straight. Okay, and the lid came off nice. Lots of storage, lots of premium storage here. You see right away. So here's like some trays. Right, probably for your characters. And you see you get one for each one. Let's go ahead and take one out. So here you have that. And then you'd have a lid, if I can get a lid off, like that. And so, based off how everything goes, you have different things for the cards, for the tracks, even where the dice are. A nice little save there has Harakiri printed on that. You know, I always say this, but these indie companies are always showing up the bigger companies. in such an obvious way. I think it's kind of funny sometimes. You would think like, oh, they don't have as many funds, but no, they're running a tighter ship. They're not paying themselves all kinds of buku's money, nothing like that. And so you just get a really nice. They're passionate about what they're making, like all positive things. It's great. It's great. Yeah, fairly thick. Not quite the thickest, but definitely not the thinnest. This is actually probably perfect. Sometimes it's so thick you almost feel like it's wasteful. It's not really making anything like that. They even have like the print on there, so they can stay organized. I like seeing stuff like that. It means they're working with a manufacturer that knows what they're doing, typically. Okay, so now we have, looks like one tray here. And that's just to keep everything kind of nice and organized. In fact, I want to go ahead and put this on the lid because it just goes right there. Boom. Perfect. Perfect. All right. So we got a whole bunch of cards here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the camera and open into some of these. And then, I don't think we need to look at all of them anyway. There's so many here. That would get kind of old. So what I'm going to do is just kind of pick some that look kind of interesting. Oh, this is interesting. So look at this. Here's the Shinigami. Looks amazing. Now, again, why he's separate, I don't know. But they put that in there. I don't know why some of these packs are split up like they are. I mean, it's kind of impressive. The backs of these look amazing. Amazing. That is so, the art looks fantastic. It really, really does. Really, really does. And as you can see, it changes, right? So, depending on what you're doing. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at this. We'll just open up some cards to take a look at it. As you can see, I try to go in this as blind as possible. It's hard if I know like a lot about the game. And that can provide value as well. But what I mean by that is I try to go into it like a normal backer experience. So this campaign happened a long time ago. I've sort of kind of followed it, but then it delivers and I just go off my memory. It also means that I'm not watching other people's unboxings. I don't like have a predisposition towards liking or disliking something because I heard somebody else's opinion on it. It's just my honest like initial reactions and a kind of mini review of the components and the component quality. When it comes to a board game, that's an important part. I mean, you're paying all the money for the physical version of it. Otherwise, you just buy some digital like art, right? So I can tell you right now that these are not the best cards. I think the printing is really good. I think it's the card stock itself, really. It feels like a board game. It does not feel like a card game at all when it comes to this. Now, it's not like you're like doing a lot with this, but the borderless art, fantastic. The red to blue, fantastic. Even the glowing on him, fantastic. The text here, it's funny because it's not like centered. It's like left aligned, and so there's like more space to the right. But I'm okay with that in general. Everything else is centered. The 1 through 12 I can see fairly okay. The 7 I very much can. And then on the back, again, I like how big the font is, so it's actually a little bit more legible, though it is pretty squished together as well. There's a little separation, I think, between the two bold. Can you see how the separation here? Even though it wasn't that big, but a little bit, so it wasn't just a wall of text, would have helped perhaps a little bit, but they're kind of tight on spacing. It is very verbose, so I don't know what it's like if you don't speak English or how detailed these can be. But either way, that's definitely done well. The art around it's really good. The little 7 here is interesting. You kind of almost don't notice that it blends in, which I think is kind of the whole point. Right, and so the same thing here. So there's all these different events you can go through, and I believe that the backs of these art-wise kind of matter as well when it comes to when you expect to see them and stuff like that. Very narrative-driven game, as you know. It kind of has 2 modes, right? So there's the like dungeon crawl mode, which I think they did exceptionally well, especially the kind of like you got to push forward kind of mechanic, which is kind of neat. So I liked that. I liked interacting with the various parts of the map. Like at one point, I think we were like shooting cannons or some junk, which was kind of neat, right? And you got a whole bunch of these as well. And again, I think it's the same style kind of thing, right? This one is a little bit different. The yellow, red, and green, very, very nice. I think that looks really well. I'm a little colorblind, and the green doesn't stand out as much to me as the yellow and red. The yellow in particular really stands out. I think they could have done a brighter red and a brighter green to maybe help with that. The yellow has a black outline, and I don't think the red or the green does because they're darker. I think making them lighter with a black like outline would have made it stand in a bit more. But again, these are just little things. The symbols look great. Those are easy to see. The purple stands out extremely well, so that's good also. Looks like there's some orange there as well. And again, all of that is actually doing quite well. So there's blue and yellow. Yellow definitely stands out quite a bit more than blue, but that's inherent. I mean, there's a reason why you put yellow on my thumbnail. It's pretty much the fastest your brain can recognize a color is with the yellow. All right, so more here. I'm not going to open these up. It's the same style of things as you can see. Very similar things where you're going through and doing different things, just different backgrounds depending on what you're doing here. I'm going to go ahead and put these back in. It looks like, to me, I think it'll support, as long as I can use this, it should support the sleeves. Obviously, there's a little bit of extra space here, but these are a lot of cards to sleeve, and I imagine that typically sleeving kind of doubles the size of a card, right? And so, see, here's a few more of these, and I don't know why this is separate. I don't know if they added this separately or what's going on with that, but either way, they have a few separate things. Look at that one. Amazing, super cool. A little CG-wise, but overall quite cool. Let's go ahead and open that up. Why not? It looks like it's different. Take a gander. Take a look. All right. Did I? I did. Okay, cool. Perfect. Try it again here. Oh, no, I didn't. There we go. I think I got it now. I think. I hope. Oh, these are so difficult. You know, there's not a lot to go off of on these when it comes to like extra plastic, which is normally what I use to open. We're close. We're close. This is tight. Okay. Oh, no. Still not quite. Oh, geez. There's not a lot of room to go off of here. Okay. Whew! Finally got a little bit of a foothold here. Handhold. All right. Okay. Whew. I'll open 5 cards. All right. So, yeah, these look amazing. Amazing. Love it. So cool. That's an awesome one. Very neat. Very neat. So there's some that I didn't even have. This is like where you become like God mode, which is super awesome. The Kami mode, right? Literally God mode. Very cool. Those are fun. Those are fun. Looks like here, keep this card until the end of the campaign. Interesting. These are all Act 1 and stuff. I don't want to spoil too much, but as you can see, a whole lot of stuff here. I really like the stuff like this. 2 men walk the path, a leaf flutters in the breeze, 1 man walks away. A little like haiku right there, right? Very cool. Very cool to see. Very in brand, right? Very thematic, which is kind of nice. Now, we do have some small cards. We have a lot of small cards, actually. So let's see what we got here. Again, the traditional kind of look artwork here looks awesome. It's like melty, melty muscles. But that's okay. So more than me. Melty or not. See if I can't open this a bit easier. They are wrapped pretty tight. I didn't check any bending. I don't see any from the ones I opened. Like they look really straight. But I'll go ahead and do it on the smaller ones now that I'm thinking about it. Just to show. Sometimes when you wrap them tight, and maybe if they're not this big, sometimes they can warp a little bit. So what you do is you flip it over, and very, very minimal. So essentially, if it's curved this way, when you flip the other one, it's curved that way, and it'll make a gap between the two, one this way, one that way, right? So as you can see, there might be a tiny bit, but it's very, very minor, right? We can even probably do half here, and very, very minor. So yeah, no, this actually looks perfectly fine. Okay, so again, this is like gear here. We're going to zoom in a little bit just because this is a smaller card. Celestial armor. Looks awesome. Again, it's got a little designator here, how much it costs here, some markings here, a little bit here, who can use it, right? The monk can use that, the ninja can use shinobi armor. Ceremonial armor is what the samurai can use. A ronin robe for the ronin, of course. Wandering monk robe also for the monk, of course. Tenbros armor, Sakura armor, solitaire armor. These are fantastic looking. Monk robes, love this. Shadow armor, daimyo's armor, vagabond's robe. These are so cool. Yeah, these are awesome. It includes, it's like the whole armor set, as you can see, which is kind of neat as well. Yeah, I'm not even really seeing any repeats. Are there any repeats on the... Like the ghost armor looks kind of similar to... Looks similar, but not quite. I think they're all unique armor sets, which is even cooler, right? That all this unique art, that costs money, guys. That's not cheap. So see, like this guy is close to... There was another one that had the helmet. Close to this. But they are different. And I appreciate that. I think that's really cool. Same kind of style, right? Each one has a compassionate robe. You heal an ally. If you heal an ally, you regain a health yourself, right? Very cool to see all of this. Yeah, I think it's cool. Again, some of these look really similar, but I'm assuming they're all a little different. But maybe they cycle. Kind of hard to tell, but I don't think so. I really do think they're all separate. As far as I can tell. Yep, very cool. Very cool. Anyway, a whole bunch. Yeah, see, that's really close. That one's just a minor edit. So I think they took some and then just adjusted a few little bits, right? So obviously this one has a different faceplate, different style of the armor. The kneecaps are different. The little head thing's different. But the overall shape is extremely close. Actually, you know, even then, I think the legs are bent a little different, perhaps. Yeah, and the foot's a little bit of a different angle. So a lot of it's just little tweaks, but still different. All the different weapons, Abyss Edge. I think I mentioned this before in the other one as well. And I can't remember if it had this grading or not, but the blades can sometimes, because it's like light on light, can be a little difficult to see. But I'm thinking that contrast helps a lot. It seems to not really be as bad as I might remember it, but I do remember that was a small critique I had. Yeah, all these are all freaking sweet. Thunder Katana, heck yeah. That's for Raiden, right? Raiden? How do you say his name? I don't know. Anyway, and if you wanted more, here's a whole other stack of gear. So lots of options here. These koi or carp look really cool. Definitely gonna have to look at that. So many different things. This is such a engrossing game. There are two different modes. There's like the map movement, almost like a Empire management mode. It kind of reminds me a bit of like a Total War style, where there's two different sections of the game, right? And it's kind of similar to that, in my opinion. So you have some almost dark and light, right? But you don't know which one you're gonna get, because they're all just these koi on the back. Kind of interesting. I don't recall that mechanic in particular. And again, we have all these like little packs of, you know, here's a tea house or a lost sanctuary or something like that. Then we have Blood Oni. This is like different things you can do, like flamethrower and stuff. Let's go and take a quick gander at some of the examples. Guys, this game is really, really cool, and all the different abilities you get from your class and stuff like that. It kind of reminded me a bit of like a Shadow of Brimstone thing, but I felt like it played a bit cleaner. Some of that, I think, this is a bit more board gamey. But yeah, here you look at it. You got Fire, Rain, Infernos, Cut, Flutter, Rebirth, Yummy, All or Nothing, Let's Be Friends, Looking at You, Cannibal, Come to Me, Friends, Hate, Chained, I Don't Need You, and the winner is... So there's all sorts of like crazy stuff going on there. Yeah, these enemies do all sorts of stuff. No, Shogun, sorry, Shogun. Yeah, very cool. The beautiful art, by the way. I love the background of that one. That one's super cool. Okay, so let's see here. We have some of these as well. See what that is? That's one of the characters, right? Again, love the like blindfolded Ronin, wandering Ronin kind of. It's such a cool vibe. I love the Japanese mythology like this. I like it in video games like Ghost of Tsushima and stuff, and it's so cool. So cool. So here's all of these, all the background. Again, quite dark, this background, so you get a wide variety of different styles and looks. So there are the main characters there, right? I think that's probably for the initiative tracking, right? And then you have some of the enemies that you might be fighting against. Kappas and ghosts and all sorts of stuff, right? Harpies and whatnot. Crazy demon dudes. All sorts of... Look at that. Freaking sweet. Again, the art. I'm excited for the art book, guys. I don't know about you, but... Again, more like... like specific loot you can get by the looks of it. And then we have... Looks like some more gear of some kind. Look at that. Freaking sweet. Amazing. And here's some more there, because there's a lady with the monkey. Okay, well, that's it for cards. Again, we could keep looking at this. There's a lot here, obviously. Quite impressive. But I want to go ahead and move on to some of the game tiles. A whole bunch of tokens and tiles and whatnot. A whole bunch. But we'll be able to compare a little bit. Now, this is not the map. This is like actual map tiles that you make. Like I specifically remember this rice field here. From the prototype. There is a bit of a bend here. Again, it is pretty, I'm going to unzoom a little bit, pretty tightly wrapped, and I've had it wrapped for a while, unfortunately. On the back, they do show the miniature sculpt, so that's kind of nice. I always kind of like that, because it makes it very obvious who you're looking for. Sometimes if the art doesn't exactly match the sculpt right, then that can be very useful, especially for new players. I've had games where it's sometimes not obvious at all what mini goes to what, just because the art is so different, right? Like, I know Deep Madness, Dawn of Madness, all those kind of suffered from that a little bit, too. All right. Look at the final quality here. All right, again, the manufacturer seems to know what they're doing. They even put the little designators here, and they wrapped it up so this is one piece, so, you know, you got everything typically, but we got some big tiles like this that are just huge. As you can see on this, much easier to see these white things. And it's because it's not just like a single thread, right? There's the back of it there. So not squishy, like hardly at all. Very little squish, very smooth feeling. The edge, you can feel the tabs a little bit. So the tabs are, but otherwise there's not like a very big sawdust feel or anything like that. Doesn't seem rough. Let's see if you get any peeling. Honestly, I'm not seeing a whole lot. There's a little bit. You can kind of see a little bit there. Very little. So this should actually stand. I guess there's a little bit more on that, but it looks like it's almost extra as opposed to some of the actual image itself. Yeah, this should last pretty well. For as big as it is, it's very firm. I'm actually quite happy with this. Yeah, this is nice. There's a little bit maybe where the corner is. Yeah, no, this is fine. And it looks really, like the coloration of it, fantastic. You can see the box as well. They did a good job on all this. All right, that's a big one. Let's look for a normal token. Yeah, totally fine. Not too thick, but thick enough where you can pick it up just fine. You're not going to be fussing around with it or anything like that. So that's good. Let's see. Now see with the tags, see how I couldn't quite fit it in there? It's because those tags actually do take up a little bit of space. And so if you don't line it up right, it's not going back in. So I want to try and keep this a little organized just slightly, even though I didn't match that up perfectly. I think that'll be okay for now. I'm just trying to see what else we have. So we have quite a bit here, a whole bunch of tokens there as well. So with this, as you can see, quite a bit. Everything is front and back. There was a lot of variety. Like any good dungeon crawl, right? You got to have the variety of where you're going, what matches everything. These are coins. They are all different shapes. I did always appreciate that. Obviously, I got the metal coins, so I'm not too concerned about that. But even with the fancy shapes, they seem to have done well with them. As you can see, they come out just fine. Very obvious what they are. They have the actual value there. Considering there's not too many, they probably could have done even without that because of the different shapes. There's the one, but they did, so it'll be even easier. We do have, looks like a big tile here. I think this is as you go through the board here. So yeah, so you have 1 through 6, and then the 12 for like the final fight, and then 1 here as well, and it goes from green, yellow, and then red, right? Looks fantastic again. I think goes really good. It's flat. So far I've been quite impressed. Again, the the quality here is outstanding, really. This is, I think, where we had, yeah, there weren't cannons, there were these little things. You could go up here and actually shoot the boss with that. I like the style here. That's really cool. I like this right here. I think it's a little track of some kind. And then there's the thing here. And it kind of shows, I think, I'm not sure what this shows. Maybe the kind of stuff that they use, perhaps. I'm not sure. But either way, cool to see. Cool to see. Again, they have their name here, right? Here's this guy. Again, very cool. We'll look at those minis here shortly, guys, I promise. But there is more to go through. There's a lot. It's a big game. Okay, more here. I remember this. You could actually, like, get different abilities and actually put a die there. Read it all just fine. I think that looks great. The black symbol there, maybe a little bit less. There seems to be enough here. This isn't like bending in or anything like that, so it's good spacing. And as you can see, you get quite a few of those. And again, more and more of the different characters. Right. So that's what you're seeing there. Very cool. All right. All the cardboard done. Okay, over here we have a rule book. Let's go and take a look. We got quite a bit of stuff here, actually. So here's the rule book. I'll try and go in here fairly quickly. It looks really nice. I like that. Again, the real rope pictures are maybe a little fuzzy. I would prefer it not to be so granular, so that they kind of maybe bumped it up a bit. But everything else on this, I think, looks cool. Exploration phase rule book. So it looks like they separated the rule books based off of the phases here. There is a cheat sheet on the back, and it is a good size. They do have a glossary. It's interesting they call it a glossary because really what this is an index. So glossary typically has definitions, but again, there's some translation stuff going on here. For an index, it's concepts and key items, not necessarily just headers. It is in alphabetical order, and they list every page it's on. That's what they're seeing here. So, for instance, you can see that enemy attacks are on page 16 and 17. You see the symbol for it as well, depending on if that makes sense or not. Skills are on 11, 12, and 19, with the attack skills specifically on 12 and 19. So they have some breakdown there. I like the symbol edition. That's kind of nice to see. The breakdown underneath, like the specifics on Kami, that can sometimes make it a little bit more difficult to find for me than just spelling each individual one out. But sometimes combining like things are kind of nice too. But if I'm really confused and I don't understand that it has to do with the Kami, sometimes it can be hard to find. That being said, it's not that big. That's on page 23, so it looks like there's not a whole lot of pages here either. So it should go pretty smooth. The components here, I like seeing this. I like knowing that this is what I need for the exploration phase. It's kind of nice to separate them. You see the name and then the mini there, and even how many if you get multiple. The different tiles and stuff. You can see the mega tile. That's where the neoprene mat thing is, right? All the different components, and especially the names can really help. Now here it says index, but really this is a table. This is something, again, I've seen translations do this before, right? So at least in English, typically the index is what I showed back there, and this is a table of contents of some kind. Exploration phase setup. Equipped, unequipped, so they're showing you exactly how each thing works. Love seeing that. A lot of call-out boxes and examples and numbers and symbols and whatnot there. This looks like at least it's doing a good job of organizing itself, which seems nice. Now again, I'd have to read it. I'll let you know in a review how I feel about it, but overall, that rule book seems to do quite good. Let's see, we do have a player aid here. Adventure phase probably on the other side is exploration phase. So you can have this out here. They did cram quite a bit, so the font is a little small, but ideally there is quite a bit there that you can kind of read, and hopefully it's kind of useful. It was a little loose, and therefore it is a little bent on the corner there just because it was able to move around, right? But nothing too terrible. Then we have the adventure phase rulebook. That's part of why the rulebook is so small. But it also means that if you just want your first game session, you can totally just read the first one and then be done with it. Some more iconography, glossary on here, which again is pretty much an index, so you know that weapons are on 7, 14, 15, and 16. Lots to read about weapons. This is that top level map area. Very cool. Look at this. That's kind of fun. I dig that. I dig that. Very cool. Yep, showing you everything here. All right, looks awesome. There's the characters, at least the four main ones. As you saw, there was quite a few stretch goals and whatnot. We'll get to that. Okay, now this is what the neoprene mat was. And from what I can tell already, it is fairly different in brightness and contrast. But we'll take a look. So for this, I can tell you right now, it is easier to see those, right, compared to this. Let me zoom out a little bit, just so you can see kind of the whole thing here, and we'll compare. And again, this is pretty common with neoprene mats. It's very hard. That's why I note it, because often they're quite darker. And I think this is a case of that, where it just doesn't quite look as bright, right? This looks a little bit brighter pretty much across the board. But it's not that much of a difference. I think a bigger difference is like this grass here. So do you see the two greens? Obviously extremely different in brightness, right? So I think the light, like the yellow parts, are showing up pretty good, but it's like they didn't get any kind of green, or sorry, yellow in this green grass. So that's a little bit of, see, like this looks a lot closer. It's still obviously darker. You can see the bright specifically, but that grass, very, very different grass, right? Come over here. These, I think, again, look a little bit closer. Again, it is pretty obvious this is a little bit brighter. This is actually more of an orange. To me, this looks really orange. This doesn't really look orange at all. So it's almost like the thread color just isn't quite there. Let's go ahead and flip it to the other side on both, and you'll see. And again, there's nothing wrong with either style, right? And in fact, some may prefer one over the other, which is totally legitimate if you like it brighter or darker. And it looks to be the same size. It's just whatever you want, but ideally they're as close as possible. All right, and again, this, I remember this. This is a totally different style. They did this on purpose. I remember this now. So this is different, right? So as you can see, you know, very, very different. And this is like a traditional style map. Do you see the like buildings here versus the buildings here? It's a complete different piece of art. Let me go ahead and zoom in. Maybe you can see that a bit more. This is very much like a old parchment paper. That I actually kind of really dig. So as you can see here, like this versus that, right? Or even this versus that. Just very, very different in style. I'm going to go ahead and fold this so we can look at the other side as well. And as you can see, quite different. Quite different. And how things are represented, right? That's really cool. I actually really dig that. That's something that's neat, and I'm okay with it looking different because of that. Very cool. I forgot they had done that. That's neat. Okay. All right, but anyway, that's the map. As you can see, looks good, nice and crisp, and much brighter if that's your preference there. Okay. Now there is more, guys. So here's some more tokens. I'm not going to punch any of these out. They're just a little extra tray here for different things. Looks like you can read it just fine. So I think that looks good. Now, we got a spacer here. I'm going to keep that for now. But we do have a ringed binder. 2 of them. Wow. Again, these games, I swear, these indie companies are just killing it. There's even like this, this is nice. I'm actually going to be able to cut directly against this. Because that is a, like a piece of cardboard to help keep it nice and crisp there, which again, just very nice. Now it does look like this was wrapped a little tight. It should still, you know, do what it's supposed to do and have pages ring around it, but I'll check. But I really like seeing this. This is so cool. The rings themselves are also quite large, which I also appreciate. What I don't appreciate is how I'm unable to ever unbox anything with ease. And so I record me struggling with basic things like saran wrap kind of stuff. Okay. Wow, even on the bottom too to kind of separate them. So there's Act 1. Here's Act 2. That's super cool to see. Super cool. All right, so Act 1 is obviously a little bit larger from what I can tell. It's very, very thick. Let me zoom out a little bit. Like extremely. It's heavy. This is where a lot of the weight came from. 267 pages by the looks of it. Looks like for the most part that's moving around okay. This is, again, love the art. Love the updates to the map and the phase and stuff like that. There's a whole lot you're going through here. Just a whole lot. You find a cool image to... Here, we'll go on this one. Okay, so here's Zone 2 Sanctuary, right? And if you needed to, this is, I think the idea is you can do this. Now, again, will it go? Looks like it will, at least this one, which is good. That's awesome. Yeah, looks great. Looks like it works just fine. Exactly as I would intend it to. Or expect it to, I guess. I'm sure they intended it as well. All right. And now this one, I do want to test this. I don't want to spoil Act 2 too much, but I want to make sure that this can actually go through, right? This is a little iffy there on that. So I'm just going to go to... It's not like it's really spoiling anything. Actually, because it's smaller, that was like actually like way easier. So yeah, looks great. Awesome. Perfect. This is, again, fantastic. Fantastic work here. And I'm going to actually keep that. Keep them all nice. Ugh, it's heavy. Okay. I think we're almost done, guys. I think. We got some booklets here. This is for each of the characters. And again... Love the style. Look at, guys, this art is so good. So good. Love the style. Alright, let's go take a look at this guy. Now this booklet is just a little stapled there. The back's all different too. Oh, they are. Of course they are. Oh, so cool. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Alright. Again, as far as like AI is concerned, I have no idea. So I'm not going to comment on that. I just know it looks really cool. I think this is like literally about them, right? There he is, he's really young, right? So they got all this backstory here. And it looks like you can actually really dive into their backstory. That's cool to see. That's cool. I dig that. I dig that. Very neat. So each person has their own like personal quest chain there or something like that. Looks cool. These are nice. Put the cards in. This is for when you're in like the dungeon mode. I forget what phase that's called, but you put the cards in here and take them out. Again, looks great. Okay, we got some enemy boards here. Wow, I was not expecting that. Literally, like, no minis. This is all everything but minis. So the minis are going to be in the other big box. So this is a 2-box system here, like at minimum, which is pretty crazy. But the minis can get pretty big as well. So that explains why they're not in here as well. Okay. Man, Synergy Games, what an entrance to board gaming, huh? They are like freaking knocking it out of the park here. Okay. Again, very cool style, very easy to read here. I'm going to zoom in a little bit just so it's a little bit closer for you guys. Again, love the style. You see quite a bit of the art. This kind of blends in a little bit, perhaps. This stands out really good. I like the Tengu there. And then on the back is another version. You can see the color change as well. And here, Goryo, right? Same thing there. A little bit of a color change. It looks great. The texture looks great. Everything's easy to read. I like seeing all of their, more of their art. I will say this one looks more like it came. It looks a little fuzzier, right? This one looks a little bit crisper. So that one looks a little odd there. Because these are kind of essentially photoshopped onto it from, I think, different pieces of art. But yeah, they look cool. They look cool. I remember dealing with these. There were freaking lanterns everywhere. I remember that fight. So, they're not a harpy, it's a shikome, apparently. Anyo can look fantastic. There's the Kappa. Not your Mario and Luigi version, right? There's Kachi. And Jinkinki, Jinkinki, I can't get that one. I tried. These guys are jerks. They shoot you. And then those guys with their like weird like tentacle tongue octopus thing going on. Yeah, sure, why not? Okay, then there's the big bad Mama Jambas here. So here's Shinigami, and again, added separately. Looks incredible. Looks incredible. This is looks like an English and non-English version, right? Probably the same with these, but we'll take a look here real quick. I show them like on the back of the box, so it's not really spoiling too much here. You kind of see the boss battles, man. So cool. Like I said, they had different mechanics. You can do different things, which is really cool as well. All right. This is actually a character as well, because there's Tomei, which I think it's actually Tomo. I think I was corrected on that last time. Jeez. All right. Okay. Whew. So again, sometimes you get some of this blurriness here, and I think it's just from the general art style. This is a very different art style. Look at this one. I don't recognize that guy at all. Hiroshi. Very cool. Oh my gosh. They're like front and back here. Okay. So here's Tomo. Here's Nyx. Of course, Madara showing up everywhere. Why not? Why not? Nobuki and Iamba. Woo! Yeah, that's frightening. Hiroshi and Izumi. The Hive Demon. Ugh, his back is nasty. And Tesso. Here's Hattori and Akira. Sumo Sapo. A very fat frog and a very scared lady. Man, look at those freaking claws. My goodness. Let me zoom out a little bit, because I'm picking these up. There you go. Here's the Shogun. The big baddie. He gets his own color. And then the Daimyo. Landolfo. Oh, he's like from Pan's Labyrinth over here. Very cool. The blood on. As you can see, different mechanics for different boss. And then Zamboni. I like that. Here's Cedric. And the other version of Cedric. The Demon Hunter looks amazing. And there's the demon riding a demon. Why not? Why not? Very cool. Very, very cool. All right. We are almost done with this box. So many more to go. All right, so we got that. Got that. Got that. Got that. All right. Here are other player boards. This is, I think, what that storage is for. Maybe. Maybe. I'm trying, guys. All right. Think I have it now. All right. Wow. Wow. So this feels great. It's very smooth. It's got like that laminate over it. Looks great, obviously, visually. When it comes to alignment, it looks like it's pretty good there. This isn't perfectly straight, but the cut is, so that's maybe a little odd. And it looks like the 3 here might be a little high. Same with the 6. There's a little bit extra space on the bottom of these. And perhaps same with these. There's like perhaps a little bit to the upper right, or they could go a little bit lower back. Looks like this is cut off a little bit. These are really hard to do, by the way. Very few companies are able to get dual layer. Now I'm talking like the factory, perfectly aligned. But as you can see, I think this is slightly this way, right? Is what it looks like to be. But it still works just fine, as far as I can tell. That looks great. I don't really... yeah, let's go ahead. It's so heavy, though, guys. Okay. I'm trying to get one of the storage things here. All right. Let's see what this looks like. So I'd have cards in there, and then I put that in there like that. And then this in here like that. And look at that. They thought about you guys, the players, when it comes to storing it. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. That's cool. That's super cool. Okay. All right. So what I want to do here, I'm going to put that back. I'll put this back. That is literally everything in the box, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and clean up a little bit, and we'll go into the miniature box before going into the expansion. So I'll see you there. All right. Now we have this one, which again, I think this is the miniatures. So again, looks fantastic. Mostly just art. A little bit, not art, but just a little bit. And then on the back, we have full art yet again. Looks amazing. What a cool, cool picture. Love it. Love all the banners. All right. So once again, carefully cut this, hopefully. There we go. Hopefully get it started here. There we go. That should make it pretty easy to open. Love it. Love it. So, these boxes are just superior. The style box. Okay, a much lighter. Love the flowers. That's really cool. Yes, okay, so we got some dice and sun dropped minis. Super excited. Okay. All right, so we're going to go ahead and do the dice first. And I'm actually going to compare those to the other dice so you can see the difference. Oh, no. Oh, they're doing so good. Tape. Oh, all four sides. I hate it. I hate it. You can get these to where they lock, and then you don't need the tape. And so instead of having something sticky that I have to cut on all four sides and have it be all finicky and leave residue, you can just have it, the lids lock. Works like a charm. Much prefer that than the tape. Let's see how long this takes. Not fun. Especially when I'm trying to record an unboxing video. Okay. Let's go ahead. Put that back in. So it's still sticking. Come on. Did I not cut it? It's like, see, this is what I'm talking about here. It's like, it's still stuck here. I hate tape on these. It is a cheap solution to something that is solved in a much better, much better, superior way, which is locking lids. Okay. Whew. Now, that being said, the lids themselves, again, fairly decent. It doesn't need to be anything thicker than this, for sure, so I'm fine with this. Just a little bit of sound. Not much at all. This is actually thicker than a lot of the other ones, and they do have these little dimples to make sure that those minis stay down, which is very, very nice. Okay. We got some dice here. Also have some of these. I'm not going to look at these. You guys have seen these a bajillion times. The only thing I would say, actually, with this is it looks like that's kind of interesting, actually. Maybe I will look at this. We're going to zoom in here. I'll talk about these briefly for a little bit, and then we'll get to minis. All right. So, normally, I don't show these off because normally you guys have seen these a ton of times. Normally, however, there is a little corner that, in fact, this one might still have one, like right here, where this is all plastic, right? Just like a mini, essentially, just a square one or cube one, where it goes off like in this like plastic channel off to the main side, right? This one though has this thing right in the middle. As you can see, it was like two sides here put together, and then this little bit is where it would have come out. So it's interesting to see it in the middle instead of a corner. I actually think I prefer that. The corner one I think is often quite obvious, whereas this one is obvious, but only on one side. Otherwise, you don't really see it like at all. So that's actually kind of interesting. I've never seen them quite made that way before. Okay, these little dice here look great. The painting inside of there looks really good. All the numbers are super clear. It does have a hole in the backs. Same with this, so that it doesn't get all puffed up. Yeah, very easy to read. Very nice. I like these a lot. These are great. These are not my favorite. I'm going to tell you why. So you can get two different versions of these, and one is better than the other depending on what you're trying to do. These are really good at actually fitting onto the mini. They also make these like silicone kind of rubber ones that are squishy that can get deformed and don't always clip on the best. However, when you're going to paint minis, if you're going to paint the minis, these are not as good because they are hard plastic, like an ABS. But because they have these little grippies here, they'll scratch the rim of the base. So when you like put it like a dark gray or a black or something like that, and you clip these on, it's going to scratch off, even with varnish, the paint on those. So for painted minis, they're not ideal. Otherwise, they actually do tend to work pretty good. Again, assuming that the minis were also made good. And it looks like there's a hole in this one as well, so everything kind of deflates nicely. Okay, now we do have some dye here. And they are quite custom, so I dig that. I'm liking the color. It's very curved, like the Chiswick style, right? So these will roll a lot. They're not like crisp edged or anything like that. They're fairly smooth. There's a little scuff marks. It's pretty typical. The red on the black, I think, looks fantastic. That's a really good red. It's a little bit of an orangey kind of sports car red. If you go too dark of a red, it's hard to see, but that looks perfect. That's actually a great red for it. The white, obviously, very, very stark, very stand out there. The green, again, a brighter green, also looks great. So they did a good job picking the colors on this. I would say that's fantastic. On the purple, again, the black and white, I think, work really, really well. It's very obvious what you're looking at there. Is this like Ichi, Ni, and San? Is that 1, 2, 3? Did I just read Japanese? Guys, I'm so smart. I'm so good. I've been doing Duolingo, guys. Can't you tell? The black and white look great. This is a beautiful green. These are great colors. Yeah, all this painting is really... Their factory knows what's up, guys. They really, really do. Another interesting thing. Now, this is a little small, but do you see the difference? See the square versus triangle here versus circle? So a lot of that's for colorblind, so that you can look at a symbol versus a color. Let's say you saw these all the same color. Now, there are some colors that work best for most colorblind, and I don't know if they're doing that or not. But that's what that little symbol typically is. As somebody who is colorblind, I very much appreciate that they do that. Those are a little small, but it's still super nice that you can do that. So you can actually see the difference between them. So like here, for instance, they have a star there instead. And again, this red is a beautiful red, especially with that black. Looks fantastic. Really, really good. And then they have this one, which is an interesting color. It looks kind of like a pudding of some kind, like one of those banana Nilla wafer puddings or something. And I think it's because, I don't know if there's a dark core to it or not, but there's a little bit of like a dark glow that you can almost see like in the middle of it, that I think is actually kind of cool. Either way, looks nice. Now, I do have some other dice here, and I do want to kind of compare them while we're looking at it. These look like they're just extra dice. And maybe that's all they are, just extra dice. So maybe I don't have to compare anything. Yeah, so I thought these were really fancy dice, but turns out that's just the dice you get, guys. That's just making it to where everybody has their own, which is fantastic. I literally thought those were like some premium upgrade because of how nice it looked. How funny is that? I'm telling you, indie game, wasn't super expensive, actually delivered, looks fantastic. What a great experience that is. Okay, we got some minis to look at. Let's go ahead and start. All right, so as you can see, they do have the sun drop. They have a non-sun drop version, but this will really show the detail to you guys. So it's actually great to show in this way, because you can see fully sculpted base that is like a base, and then on top of it is all this texture. It makes it a little bit more of a dynamic sculpt. That means they're not doing anything crazy either, which means that ideally the quality still stays quite nice. So the detail here, again, especially on this armor here, which if they didn't get this right, they're going to struggle through the whole game. Full of minis. Fantastic. Really well detailed there. The hair looks great as well. The gun looks good. I think that ended up quite well. The fingers are slightly separated, but they're a little nubby. The sword here looks good. The sword hilt looks great as well. The sandal, you can actually see that with great detail too. Yeah, looks great. They did a good job on this. I like the little gap here. Stuff like that that's not filled in, I think just looks better. Okay, we got another one here. This is like a monk guy. Again, beautiful sculpted base. It looks very different, but still great, right? It's got like cobblestone and then like a vine of some kind. The hat has all these like swirls in it, which look great. They're like really swirling around there. I love the like open chest. You can't really see the face as well. It's one of the problems with the sun drop is they tend to dry brush or do whatever they do on the top. But I don't know if this is varnished or not. I wonder if I could get some of my like solvent and like wipe away some of the dark splotches. That might be kind of cool. Either way, love the style. Love the cloth here. I think it looks good. This little like big canister here, and then his again, the plastic here is really good because this isn't like super bendy or anything like that. Sorry, it's out of focus. There you go. The staff here, really good. Again, it's a little bendy, but otherwise it's actually holding quite good. The gap here, fantastic. That actually ended up really, really well. Same with like this tassel that's coming off of it. That's really cool. Yeah, the muscle definition here is good. Again, the little bit of armor that he does have, fantastic. Very cool dynamic mini. You actually get 2 of him, and I think it's because of an ability. All right, here is the Ronin guy. Classic, love it. You know, I think the first time I had this, they were in resin, and these look just as good. Yeah, the grain on the wood here, on the wooden planks, fantastic. Fantastic. Really love that. Love the sword and slightly coming out. I love that there's a little bit of glint there. And if you were to paint this versus a sun drop, it'd look exquisite because of little details like that. So you have the scabbard, you have the sword coming out, and a tiny bit of the blade just showing, and that would really pop. Very cool. Love the little, like, I don't know what those are, but that's cool. You can see the bandana, so it's just like the art there, which is perfect. He's got the little beard there as well. Again, the hair looks great. The flowing of the cloak is fantastic, and does have this little bit of a trim here that really helps cut that down. But these like really sharp points, you see these points here, look great even on the sun drop. These lines here like that looks fantastic. Yeah, this oil wash looks cool. All right. Here's Tomo, I believe. Again, great basing. Love the like big, piece of wood here. And again, the rings on either side, fantastic. Love to see that. The bow is huge. That seems very, very large. I'm assuming the arrow is correct, having it on the left side. I'm assuming that's correct. I'm no expert, but I know some people get it wrong. Let me know if this is right or wrong. I'm assuming, though, that it is correct, mainly because that almost looks wrong to me, and I doubt anybody would purposely do that. Right there resting on the hand. Hopefully she doesn't get like hurt too bad when she launches that thing. Love aiming it. Love that she's looking kind of down at whatever she's shooting at. The little blade here is nice. The little armor panels are good. The cloth, again, exceptional. That's almost their strength. I love these really good folds in there that make it look really cool. The hair drooping down, also very, very cool. All right. Now we have these guys with two blades here. So, and now see, this is interesting because I could have sworn for like normal like, samurai, don't they have a long sword and a short sword for if they're inside or outside? I thought, or like one opponent versus multiple or something like that. They're just a little bit more versatile. This is 2 of the same size. I don't know how common that is, but I'm no expert. The armor, again, if they couldn't get this armor right, they were going to struggle, and they got it right, so they're not struggling because this looks fantastic. Same with even the helmet. Having the defined like face mask looks fantastic. The horns look really good. The blades are a little dull, right? They could be a little bit sharper, but they're actually not too thick, which is kind of nice. I appreciate that. And the base, of course, looking great as well. Next up, we got some kappas. All right, so these turtle guys are freaky. Love the base. I think that looks good. You can see a little bit of the grass there. The blades look good there. The muscle definition, they are very muscular, actually, and quite lanky, which is kind of neat. The shell, the texture on the shell is super cool as well. And the fact that they have that little hole in their head is so neat. I have no idea what that's about, but I think it's really, really cool. The little beak of a mouth, too. These guys are looking perfect as far as I can tell. I think they look great. Even the webbing in the between the fingers, kind of creepy. I will say that the curled fingers always seem a little bit smaller than this, right? I think highlighting the part that's curved in will help a little bit.
But that's where the rest of the finger is there. And the separate fingers, by the way, look great. You know, we have the assassin, Hiroshi or something like that. Again, on the little roof here, if I'm not mistaken, the original one, the roof was a bit more pointy. This is a little bit flatter, and I think that actually looks great. I think this is pretty much perfect. I think it looks awesome. I love the ends of all the like bamboo shoots or whatever that's going on there. I love that he has his sword and his scabbard, so you could tell he took it out of the scabbard there. It would have been nice to have the scabbard have a little bit more of a hole, and I'm not quite sure that blade can actually fit in that. The blade almost looks a little bit larger than the scabbard, but still the overall style and design very cool. You can see that flowing back there. The cape or the cloth isn't too thick there either. The armor looks fantastic. I love the mask and the hood and everything like that. Again, the cloth is still a highlight for me. Just these really, really crisp lines and folds just look really good, especially with the dry brush or however they get this effect on it. All right, here's one of these nasty, weird demon things with the weird tongue thing. Again, very dynamic. Look at the base. The base is a model all on its own with this like broken statue that looks great. The detail's really good. He's pushing off of that. The assembly looks fantastic. Sometimes if the assembly's bad, it'll look really bad with this style of oil wash because it'll pool in there. As you can tell, it looks great. I think they did a great job on that. The rope looks good. Muscle definition is good. The feet look great. Even the bottom of them, they have like the like a curved arc and stuff like that, and the individual toes. The spikes are gross. Hair looks gnarly. The tentacle coming out of the tongue is disgusting. The facial features look good. Really big, like defined brows stuff. They always remind me of like the Urukai from Lord of the Rings a little bit. Very cool. All right, next up we got the Ghost Ladies. Here they are, again, looking awesome. This base just looks stellar. You know, looking at the base like this with the wash on it, the sepia kind of wash, reminds me a lot of like a painting, right? Like that just looks really good. It looks like it's like on parchment almost. So there she is, again, face contorted, way more up and twisted than it should be. You can see her form in her like ghostly like robe kind of thing, and it's flowing and billowing and swirling, as you can see as well as it goes to mist. These are really skinny. They're not too fat or anything like that, so it looks like actual cloth. The fingers are a little bit grouped but also separated, which I think works really well. Because it's a female, they typically put them with really small hands compared to the men, and you can see that here. That's a very common style. And I love the gap there. In fact, the fact that this isn't quite a gap, but it looks like it's just about, because that crisp line there looks really, really good. Okay, one more on this top row for these smaller ones. This is the cannibal guy. So, yeah, he's gross, obviously. His pants are all, like, torn up and junk, and his body's looking sickly, and he's literally, like, has a torso of another person that is much smaller. I think he's grown. You can see how big his belly is. I never noticed that before, but his belly is huge. He's, like, engorged on these people that he's eating. But I will say that scale, I think, is still a little low. Like, if we take a normal guy like this, we compare it, I think that chest is just a little bit smaller, right? Now, I get it's a representation, and they're working with scale while trying to make it reasonable, and that's why they do that. But just know that looks like a little pygmy person next to the other people you might be fighting. The basing looks great. The curved feet, like with the toes like that, actually look fantastic. They did a really good job there. And again, they're grouping and separating fingers, I think, in an intelligent way that works for the detail level that they have here. The facial features, especially with the sunken in eyes, I think really help tell this. The like really defined like rib cage and junk too, same kind of thing. Just looking gnarly. All right, so that is it for the first tray. There are some big minis still to come. A lot of bosses and enemies and junk like that, plus a few more really cool people. But let's go ahead and do some of those bigger ones now. Why not? There's plenty to go. Again, that tape, super annoying. Yeah, and now I just have this weird sticky residue on it. Perfect. Not my favorite, not my favorite. Okay. Here, we're gonna put this up here. Okay. Let's go and start with this guy here. This is like the Nua or something like that. Again, this really cool base. Very, very well defined. Lots of detail, as you can see. The like snake tail is incredible. Looks very cool with the texture. And then the face, even with a little bit of fangs, open mouth, the eyes look good. So that came out really great. The assembly could have been maybe slightly better. It's a little hard to do when it goes from fur to scale like that. Having a little bit of maybe some fur texture, just as it just kind of starts out, instead of having that separation be right where the assembly point is, can often help with that. Texture looks great. Love, it's very much a sculpted texture. It's not like where they got a tool and just added texture onto the shape. Instead, it is kind of swirled around where the body is and how it would work, which is great. The ears and face and all that look really cool, very unique. I really dig that. Like the teeth, open mouth like that with the tongue inside looks neat. A muscle definition even on the bottom I think looks quite good. I think this is supposed to be maybe a little bit more hair, and there's not really a hair texture at the very end that I think it is supposed to have. The feet look good. Everything's assembled well there. So yeah, very, very cool. I love the whole angle of being turned and looking that way and snarling and kind of aiming down. All right, here's one of the bird people here. Again, the feathers, very cool. Two different kinds of feathers. You have kind of the like, actually I guess three different kinds of feathers. So you have these like smaller feathers here. And then you have these like bigger flat feathers. And then you have these, they're supposed to, I imagine like kind of like fluffy down kind of feathers. Then you have these like outward textured feathers, right? And you can see the three here as well, right? So 1, 2, 3, three different kind of kinds here. Kinds, that's a dumb way to say it, but that's how I said it. The hair looks good. The claws look fantastic. I think that looks great. Facial feature is neat. It's just kind of like glaring. But I like the overall pose with the outstretched hand there, and then here again the fingers separated look great. The like talons look really neat as well. Sculpted base looks nice. I like how she's kind of like bent and then bent again, so she would be very, very tall if she wasn't all scrunched up. Get a couple of those. Then you get this guy here. This is like the Undertaker or something like that. Again, basing very, very good. Assembly looks great. The multiple arms, I think they did quite well. Love the lantern. The teeth, the smile that this guy has is perfect. The big old cleaver looks great. I like that one a lot. It's actually not too thick. It's actually quite thin. They did a good job with that cleaver. The big casket he's got with the shovel and the heads hanging off of it that he's holding behind him is just so cool. Be careful fighting him. He will slam that into your face. I remember that vividly. And in fact, the fact that I can remember specific moments in the gameplay years later, pretty impressive. All right, we got this bad boy. We're going to have to start zooming out a little bit here now. This guy's cool. Again, multiple layers. You can see even the flat part of the base here as it builds up. I think that's fine. It could be like blood or something like that, so the flat part actually works quite well in that regard. Same here. This isn't quite flat. It is a little bit sculpted, I think, for that same reason. Otherwise, though, these cracks and stuff, you can see how well of a wash they take. Just fantastic. The armor alone is so cool. The individual little like medallion circles here is just great. The ropes ending in the like uneven tufts, fantastic, right? The ornate work on the knee pads, on the wrap here, the texture on the like skin, fantastic. Even like the shaft of the blade, all the work there looks great. Maybe slightly bent. This actually comes to quite the point, especially these back ones here. Like very, very good. Again, the detail work is fantastic. This would look glorious fully painted. Love the armor there. Again, these look so good. The hair with the little like knobs and stuff in here. This looks better than the resin version. I think because the resin version that I had still had like some like support nubs and stuff like that. This looks great. Really, really good. Love the horn, especially the like the one-sided horn, the tusks, the scowl, the like furrowed bridge, the eyes, the teeth, everything. This looks cool. And then we have the floating head with the guy riding it. Again, so cool. Again, a scale thing here. He's not actually tiny. He's just small on this because this is supposed to be very big, right? I mean, first of all, it just looks great. This, by the way, looks really good. Often you will get some bubbles in here, But I think they solved that a little bit because, as you can see, it's a little hollow instead of solid. But often you'll get a little bubble, but no bubble, perfectly clear. So that looks fantastic. Again, obviously at this scale, it looks great, right? The horns look good, the eyes look good, the teeth, the gums, the inside of the mouth is textured, the tongue, the eyelids, everything about this looks cool. The pointy ears, how deep those ear recesses go, the like gristle, nasty, cut off head portion with like the skin flaps and hanging and junk. The chains here look great. Even this guy here is like very well detailed with his facial features, holding onto these chains. He's got like a little necklace thing here and stuff. Just so cool. What a cool mini. That is just awesome. I don't like to put that on display. I want to paint it and put it on display. That's really cool. Okay, so all that's neat. Those are not the biggest. We still have to see the Shogun, for instance. We got a lot to go, so let's go ahead and make sure that I put the lid on right. And again, bigger ones, smaller ones, they're custom made for the minis at its stores. Okay, let's go take a small break and do some smaller ones, and then we'll do bigger ones again. Again, I have to cut the tape. I apologize for the delay. I'm not happy about it either. All right, is it just those two? Do I have to cut the... No? Okay, all right. I think we're good. All right, cool. This will be pretty quick here. We got some more hero minis. Let's go and take a look at those. Look at this guy. This guy's freaking sweet. Look at this. How cool is that? Let me zoom in a little bit. My goodness, look at this monk guy. Freaking sweet. He's like floating. He's got like 6 arms. Very cool. Love the draped cloth here, and that's what's holding him up. I think that's fantastically designed. Works really, really well. I love the different like hand symbols he's doing. That's very, you know, he's got like his fingers like curled there and stuff. Very monk-like. The big like ball necklace thing, the like freaking Avatar Last Airbender like thing on his forehead, kind of junk. Just very, very cool. Very neat styled. I love that the arms here are not like the normal arms. Instead, they're like rocks or something like that. Some kind of like metaphysical thing kind of working there. Again, the cloth here, especially layered on, looks fantastic. The little belt thing here. Very cool. And a much different base as well. All right, then you have this lady with a monkey, which instantly like. Again, the blade, not too thick. Actually comes to a fairly decent point on both the blade part and the tip itself. So that looks great. The monkey, of course, is amazing because he's a monkey and he's standing there because he's a good boy. When it comes to the actual character herself, again, very cool armor, 2 different blades. It looks like they're still both the same size. Maybe that's the thing, maybe it's not. I don't know. The cloth here and the rope and stuff like that looks great. The hair is also very neat. It's a little bit different with the bangs like that. Facial features a little blank, but very detailed, so that looks good. And I like the ribbon as well. And I like that, again, all the space in the back here is kind of filled up with the overhang parts and not really her herself. She's kind of up in the left, and then the monkey is to the left. So almost looking off-center, but still working as kind of like a framed area. Another cool style here. Again, hanging off the base all the way at the very end. Very bent knees. And then with the arms sweeping back like this. But look at all this gap here, right? So they got all the gaps here, which means that this is assembled, or there's no way you could pull it out of the steel mold. So they did a good job with the assembly here. You can kind of see it right there. But again, looks great. Again, the little cape there looks cool. The other blade here looks neat. Or I don't know where that blade holds to. Maybe on the side or something. It doesn't have a scabbard by the looks of it. Love the hand position here as well. Very, very cool. The mask is neat. The cape. You can see the little eye slits there. Very cool. Love it. And again, fantastic base. Okay, I got one more character here. Again, very different. Very neat. This is a new kind of like samurai kind of guy, but a very different helmet. And very different weapon as well. I don't know exactly what this is, but it's very cool. I like the cloth here. Again, also a very different style. Got both blades there. Still loving holding heads. Everybody likes decapitating heads. And the base itself also looking great. Okay, we got 2 new enemies in this one. We got these people here coming out of the It's like a spirit coming out of the lantern. Very cool. Love the like wispiness here as it then turns into something more physical. Love the really, really long skinny arms and the really long skinny fingers. That's really freaky. The long flowing hair with the two horns and the like smiling, like malicious grin. Just very cool mini. And again, I love that it starts here and then it kind of ends almost halfway, and all the rest is just a lead up to it. Once again, the base looks fantastic, glorious, done very, very well. And then we have this one here, which again, very cool. Love the scabbard, plus the sword. This scabbard actually has quite a big hole in it, which is nice to see. We have like a mat or a cloth of some kind. Lots of fabric, and as I've been saying, I think they do the fabric really, really well, especially the layered fabric. And no exception here. That rope looks good. Love the twist of the body. Love how you can see that the legs are out and the knees bent underneath all of that, so that looks great. Love how flat it is against the floor. The hand being outstretched, and look at that, it's not even actually attached. It's literally not attached. They could have attached that, but nope. Just a very cool style. You can see kind of the reverence for sword styles here, and I think that's a really neat addition. I really, really like that. That's cool. All right. So, let's do maybe some more big ones, and then some small ones, and then some big ones. What do you say? We'll do a whole mix. Because there's still a fair bit here. And this is just a corgi. Again, I really hate this. Just trying to open up my minis. I'm standing between me and my minis. All right. All right, start small and then go big on this group here. So, again, this guy, I love that he has like the wrap, open mouth, nose, fingers are all separated. Again, very good quality. There's a big indent here. It's not flat or anything like that. These are so much better than like Come On minis that it's crazy. The staff looks pretty good. It's a little thick, and that's because it's not ABS, and so it's maybe even a little bit bent as well. This looks great with the different rings here. They did fill them in, of course, which kind of makes sense, but that's still all right. Would have been nice to maybe have given a semblance of the like a bamboo stick in there, but otherwise okay. Again, that sleeve looks good too. Love this cloak here. This texture here is looking awesome. Very, very cool. Love that. Yeah, it looks cool. I dig it. All right, here is like the werewolf guy. Again, the base looks fantastic. Love the like broken wheel and stuff like that. This branch here doesn't have any rings by the looks of it on the end. I would have liked to see that. It's like actually like a 9-tail fox kind of thing going on here. It's like a mix, but it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tails, I guess. I don't know what that means. He's got the claws on, it's like a Wolverine over here, on these like weapons of some kind, like a mechanical weapon almost that he's holding. That's interesting to see. The actual face itself looks great. The teeth looks great. Snout looks good. Ears, brow, like it looks like a very wolf face, which I actually really appreciate. Looks more wolf than non-wolf actually. Muscle definition is good. The like weird double bent knee thing that all these werewolves have, that's perfect. Claws look good. Very cool mini. I like it. All right, here's Nyx. She's tiny in this one, or I guess normal size, but she's riding a wolf. The wolf looks fantastic. Love the fact that there's a wolf involved. The wings, of course, she's known for that. Looks great. The tail, again, attached here, so that looks really good. Even this is, you hear that? I don't know if Madara helped with this at all, but they actually went ABS on her spear, and it looks fantastic because of that. It's not too thick or anything like that. The headdress here is super interesting, so definitely in theme for here. And again, this type of like grass looks super duper cool. I love this style. Like that is a cool texture on the base. All right, yeah, she turned out great. That's awesome. All right, here's a demon, though it looks like it has like angel wings here going on. The scythe is, of course, amazing. Looks super duper cool. The snarling, smiling face. These demons love what they're doing. The clenched fist looks great. Again, the muscle definition looks stretched and, you know, like there's a lot of sinew there and stuff. Just nasty demon stuff. The flowingness here looks incredible. It takes up almost the whole base. And again, these wings, again, very, very cool, very detailed. You got 2 different kinds here. Maybe, yeah, no, it's the same texture. So just really 2 different kinds. And it, again, looks great. I love the overall size. The wings are actually quite thick, which makes them seem kind of fluffy, actually. So, yeah, I think this looks great. There's not a lot to complain about on this one. This is a rather good one here. Assembly looked like it went really well with that scythe as well. All right, then we have this guy here. I'm going to have to zoom out now. We're getting a little too large again. All right, so he's like stabbing the head of like another demon into the ground. Just looking at the back of the head, which is the first thing I do want to see, a decapitated head. All the like muscle and guts and junk, that looks fantastic. I'm going to pay attention to these wings here because look at the veins. Look how crisp those veins are. Veins are on the wing. Really, really crisp. Like, that is impressive. That looks really, really, really good. Of course, there's holes and stuff everywhere. I think the only thing I don't really like is that this hole, and maybe even this one, look like almost a perfect circle. But I don't know, maybe he was shot with like a 50 cal or something. Who knows? Yeah, this looks great. I love the like fire that's like sweeping up here, right? So it looks like it's hell brimstone junk. The armor on this guy is very interesting. I think that's super cool that it's a little bit different than a lot of the other ones. And again, there's like some weird, I don't know, is that like I don't know, is that like a worm thing or something? I don't know what's going on there. Again, with the like grinning face, the horns are a little bit different on this one, but still really cool. Just overall very neat, very, very cool. The like in talon thing, really clear here, not quite as clear. It's a little bit fuzzy here, perhaps. But yeah, no, this is cool. Very neat design. I love the gap here that you can see some of the guts there and junk. Just gnarly. And you get a little bit of a flatter base, I feel, too. Okay, another tray down. One more to go. Okay, so this next one... Oh, shoot. So underneath this, there is... Oh, sorry. Another storage tray, by the way. Which is kind of cool. All right. Let's see, is this taped? It is taped. Of course it's taped. Why wouldn't it be taped? Why would I just be able to open it? Let's go ahead. All 4 sides by the looks of it. Cut it open. Get it out. One more. Okay. Almost done with this. So we're going to start out with these guys. Actually, I think this guy's maybe lit up a bit more. All right. Here we go. Zoom in a little bit. We'll zoom out soon. Trust me, the biggest one's still coming. All right. This is such a cool mini. I love the like zombie skeleton kind of look of the face, the open mouth, the deep sockets, the like skull-like bone definition here. The like halberd weapon that he has. Again, it's a little bent, a little bendy, as you can see. Not the like most... the hardest plastic, but still great detail, which I'm actually kind of impressed they got both here. The wash actually makes this blade look a little bit better, I think, because of the color difference there. Love the like ethereal kind of flowing cloak that he's got going on here. As you can see, there's no feet. There's a tree stump with rings. That's nice to see. A little bit of a gap here, which again, also kind of nice to see. Multiple layers of that kind of wispy cloak. And the armor itself looks fantastic. The the like noose around his neck, nice little touch. All right, then we got this lady here. Again, really freaky looking. She's got like the faces in a bag on her back. The ropes look really cool. The like stick that she's holding onto, really neat. Love the ropes, like I said. Her face just looks mean. Like she looks like she's like snarling at you. She's just a mean witch lady that apparently wants to collect your head and put it on her back. So yeah, that's a thing. I like how again she's not evenly on there, and instead there's a little bit of more terrain here. They've done a lot of like sculpted base, and not just like a textured base, which I appreciate. Okay, we got these Tengu guys. You can tell because they got the long like. You know, demon nose would be red. The blades, again, he's got 2 of them. Very cool pose. Lots of gaps here. The assembly here worked really well. These wings are separate, but again, the assembly fantastic. And you have the same kind of style of wings here. without maybe a little bit less definition on them, but you still have the two different styles there. So all the wings look fairly consistent. They don't like they're like part of different groups or different styles. The armor, again, fantastic. Cloth, good. Muscle definition, great. The hair looks cool. The flowing cloth. Base looks great. The sandals, boots, all that kind of stuff. All of it looks good. Again, I really appreciate how, even though it's still fairly flat, which is quite normal, they did a really good job of like separating these. I think the wings really add a lot to it because you have some up here, you have some down here. It's behind the leg. Then behind that is that. So you have like multiple layers, like 3 layers right here that really help add depth to it, even though there isn't really any. All right, next up we have Splinter, the little rat guy with a stick. Again, his stick looks really cool, like the wrappings on it. His texture looks great. Love the little like goatee thing. Cloth is, again, one of their highlights. They do a fantastic job with it, and that's continued here. Love the hand symbol. You can actually tell that's the case. Sculpted design in the back. It's popped out instead of popped in. I prefer popped in. It's a little bit easier to paint, but that works as well. Eye sockets, ears look good. Tail coming out. I love it. I love the little guy. And again, very cool, like Zen, like sand garden kind of, rock garden kind of thing going on there with the lines and stuff. Looks super cool. One more small one, and then we're going to the last few like kind of bosses and stuff. I guess there's one like medium, 2 medium-sized. Okay, so again, very cool. I don't know what she's holding here or what the outstretched hand is, but the fan here, super cool. The head thing, very cool. The hair looks great there. It looks like she's actually kind of floating, though she might just be on some big shoe things. I'm not sure, but it looks like she might be floating. Yeah, interesting. Interesting mini. Okay. We got this guy here. Big old horns, love that. Huge blade. The blade looks freaking sweet. Looks like a Final Fantasy blade. I love that. Cloud would dig that. It's not quite a Buster Sword, but still pretty cool. The skull on the buckle is cool. The fact that he's holding another skull, because why the heck not? It's the same size of his head, so the sizing there is good, at least within this mini. The texture on the pants, the cloth, again, fantastic. Armor still great. I really like that you can see how this is just like strapped onto it. There's no straps on the one here. I don't know if it's like sewn onto the cloth or what's going on there, but you can see that on the arm, the little straps there that I think look really, really good. Yeah, very cool. I love that. That blade is freaking sweet. And we got this person here. Again, very cool basing. Look at that. The fingers look great. A little bit of like a necklace kind of thing looks cool. The hair looks neat, especially with the pins in it. Very traditional there. The little knot there is still cool, but this base, super cool there. I love that. You can see the little platform shoes that she's on there. Very cool. Very cool. Okay, we got another guy here. Huge, cool base. Look at that, or not base, but cloak. Look at that. The flowing of that is amazing. Looks super duper cool. He's like bent down, but if he was straight, I think this would actually be the right height as well. So he's pretty tall. His hair is like crazy. This is one of those like extra characters or whatever. His hand gesture looks super cool. The weapon looks awesome. The cloth here is great. What a cool, again, I love this. That looks super cool. What a fun one. Okay, now we're on to some bigger ones. Let's start with this guy. So gross. This might trigger a few of you guys. This is like the Hive Demon, and he has all these like a honeycomb pop mark into his skin on his back. It looks disgusting. Like, that is absolutely gross. The like wings that he has are really thick. I wish they weren't as thick, but the design of them is very cool. The base overall looks fantastic. I like the variety of it there. He's got these weird claw, like kind of insectoid feet as well, but then like normal kind of sort of hands, which is kind of crazy. I don't know what this is, like encroaching up on his chest. Some other kind of weird disgustingness. This guy's just gross. And he looks like it too. I mean, look at that face. Very cool design of the face with like a really extended bottom jaw, really sunken eyes. The lower cheekbones are all puffed up. Just a gross dude. Freaking sick. Oh, that back is nasty. All right. Next up, let's go ahead and do the fat toad guy. Love this sumo toad guy. So again, this is neat. I like the design of this. It's a little thick, but otherwise okay. Same with this. I think they went a little thick on the size of it, but overall fine. He looks like a normal sumo dude, you would think, except his feet, as you can see, are quite webbed. Wow, look at all the like drenched it on the back there. But you know what? It adds a lot of difference between the front and that. So yeah, the like webbed toes. His hands maybe look a little bit weird, but then you get to like his back and he's got like the little bumps like from a toad would have right on the back there. And then his face is totally frog-like with like the really high ridges there, the big open mouth like that, the like little droopy chin thing. Just a weird toad sumo guy. All right, here's another one. We're going to have to start zooming out a bit. This is a tree guy, because why not? So again, the basing I think is perfect for what this is. A lot of like moss-covered stone and stuff like that. Another tree with tree rings. A lot of like branches twisting around each other and stuff to kind of form this guy. But a very obvious face. He's like, as you can see, he's yelling. Has like this big rock thing that he's like picked up and he's going to toss at you. And the spikes on the back are pretty cool. And again, some of these kind of sharp actually too. Very cool. I like the depth in here, as you can really get in there and see how spiky those things are. Oh, shoot. And apparently they don't break very easily. All right, this one just looks awesome. I love the horse. So the stone here looks great, of course. That looks awesome. Love how it's like cut. The overall pose of the horse, rearing up like that with the head down and stuff like that. And then obviously the face, you got like the eyes and everything like that. It looks great. Him turned with the horse, you can see it in the stirrups there, his weapon separate from everything else, but kind of riding the back of his arm so it stays kind of nice. Just a cool horse samurai pose. Like, this is just a neat pose in general. Okay, now for the biggest one. I'm definitely going to have to zoom out for this. This is the Shogun. Now, he's not coming out right away, and it's because, now that I see, he is actually tied down. So one moment here. This is like opening like a children's toy in a way. And I think they do this often just as a precaution because the bigger ones often are quite heavy. And so they can like push away like a lid and stuff a little bit easier and some rough shipments. So I had to take this off. Let's zoom out a little bit because I got this guy. And he is cool. All right. Fantastic. Wow. All right. So obviously quite big. The base is like ridiculous. This is like plopped on top. So this is really flat here. It would be nice to have some kind of texture there. Maybe we can put blood or something like that. So it looks like it should be flat. Yeah, he's huge, obviously. Massive. The chain is massive, right? The tongue coming out is massive. It's bigger than most people. The tiny little heads he's holding really sell that like scale really well. That being said, the head detail is not super great. So they're a little soft, and in fact, this one here like doesn't really have a head at all. It's completely smoothed out. This one is mostly smooth on one side, so a little bit of more detail there would have been kind of nice. The weapon, fantastic. I love the little scratches and stuff that show up with this. Maybe I can zoom it in maybe slightly more. There you go. So you can kind of see the detail on the weapon there. It's all nicked and junk too. Obviously at this scale, it's really easy to get like fingers right and stuff. The skin texture, the teeth coming out every which way are gross, right? The horns with the spikes coming off of them are neat. Like strapped on armor, like chained on there is really, really cool. The other blade here and the scabbard, the hilt looks fantastic. The claws and other spikes and junk still are looking really, really great. There's actually what looks to be, I don't know if this is drippings or a bone. It looks like these are bones that are hanging down from here. So you can see some of them even hanging down there. Again, more bones here, though it gets a little soft right here. So there's a few points where I would have pointed out to him that, hey, this perhaps needs a little bit of touch-up, but otherwise, overall, pretty good. Yeah, all the texture on the bottom, all that wood still looks really good, too. What a cool, cool mini. And again, like, scale-wise, this is like a normal person, right? So a huge difference. Huge difference. All right, so that's the core box. Now we gotta get started on all of the rest of them, but luckily they're a lot smaller.
All right, since we're going in order, let's do the Wrath of the Gods expansion. This one looks, again, super cool. Love that. This is like Black Myth Wukong, right? you got like Goku over here, the monkey, fighting the gods and having the extendable pole and shape-shifting and all that stuff and getting powerful and whatever, right? All right, let's see what we have in store here. A Journey to the West, like, right? Isn't that what it's based off of? Come on. All right. There we are. Okay. Very excited. Looks great. Very different, very bright compared to the other ones, right? Okay. Wow. Wow, that is pretty. Look at that, guys. What art. That is cool looking. I love that. Very, very cool. Again, probably the same kind of thing here. This is kind of a introduction, components, parts, rule changes, campaign setup, and then 11 chapters after that. So as you can see, we're going to get a big old dragon here. Super excited for that. It's going to be super awesome. You guys get like a turtle and junk, because why not? Get different characters here. Sun Wukong right there, as you can see. You got even Mulan as well. Why not? Why not? Yeah, looks cool. So you get all these different things here. Get a little bit about them there, right? Some introduction. Again, quite a lot of story, some setup, and then you start on your adventure. Very cool, very cool. All right. Oh, guys, the art here is so cool. This is like a, oh, what is that? Is it Okami? There's a old PS2 game, I think it was, that they're, I think, remaking now. That where you played as like a spirit wolf kind of thing that moved around. It kind of reminds me of this style. Very cool style. All right. So here's Bayako. Very neat. Ginbu. Again, very cool art. Love it. As you see, they have like little like spheres that are cracking or whatever. And then here's the dragon there. I'm not going to try and say the name there. And then what looks to be like a phoenix of some kind. Very cool. Okay, there's that. Here are the new abilities and characters that you can play. Very cool to see. Very cool. We got some loose cards here. This is, you know, like their initiative track kind of cards. We got some items. Because again, this is all like the Journey to the West thing is a Chinese thing. Some stuff there as well. And then more things for it. This is actually kind of different. That looks a little different. Something to do with the campaign. And again, lots of extra space, I'm assuming, for sleeves and stuff. But other than that, looks like it is taped because the whole thing came out, so just opening up like I would expect it to. We'll cut the tape real quick and take a look at the minis. Quick and efficient. All right. Again, I'm so impressed by the quality with these. It's actually really, really good. Okay, let's start with the characters. Zooming in, but we'll zoom out. It's coming. All right, here's Wukong here. Again, on his pole, I'm fine with it being bent. I don't know if that's on purpose or not, but it works fine for. It's supposed to be like really long and flexible or whatever. Very monkey-like. You can see by the overall, not just the pose, the fact that he's got like a tail and he's gripping the staff thing that he has, or his pole with his feet, but the overall like length of his arms and legs and stuff, he's just very lanky, right? The face, again, I think that's perfect as well. A little spiky hair, that's pretty common. And the armor, again, I think it looks really good. The texture on everything, fantastic. And I like that, again, he's over here, but then to the right? So it's like this really nice kind of combo. Okay, let's zoom out just slightly, just to make sure I stay in focus a bit. These are really fancy. So she's like a fox lady, 1, 2, 3, 4 tails, 2 different fan blades. They're a little thick, but I think that's okay. They still look great. Yeah, overall the like boots and the style of it, the multiple different styles here on the shoulders,
right? So you got 2 here, 1 here. The hair, really, really straight. Looks very textured. The face, again, very, very detailed. Little tiny ears. Even the tails are separated here, so that looks cool as well. Skin definition, all that looks really good. Yeah, very cool. Very cool. Very different. Okay, now we got this lady here. I think this is Dodgy or whatever. Or, no, this is probably Mulan. That was Dodgy or whatever. So again, like the scabbard here, it looks like the sword actually would fit in there pretty well. Though it is completely flat on the end. I would have liked a little bit of a hole there. The pose is fantastic. I love the little headband around the hair. The part on the hair looks really, really good. Again, the cloth is a highlight. But so is this armor. Look at that. That looks fantastic. That looks like perfect. That looks fantastic. Really, really good armor there. Yeah, very cool. I like that the scabbard's kind of hanging there in the front. I like this little hanging tassel thing on the end of the sword hilt. Okay, next up is this guy. Again, very, very cool. Love the hat kind of helmet thing. The flowing beard is really, really cool. It looks like he's like holding his beard out, which is kind of silly. Why not? The like halberd thing is really cool. Very well designed. Looks super neat. Cloth again, fantastic. Look at the detail on that. I like the little symbol there. That's really cool. The pose, very, very stretched. Unfortunately, it is a little flared up and quite flat. There's no lip. If there was a tiny bit of a lip here, that would have done wonders, I think, for it. I think it's fine from the back, but from the front, because of that little lift up there, it's just a little bit noticeable. You can kind of see it, right? If you look at them straight on like that. Obviously, like this, it's going to look great, which is how you're going to see them on the game board. Okay, now there is an alternative Sun Wukong, and that's this right here. Again, this is a little bendy, but I'm actually okay with that. I think that's actually kind of fine. And he's on his Nimbus Cloud, which again, going for Dragon Ball Goku kind of stuff, right? That's what it was based off of, and now you can tell. Interesting enough, I wasn't sure if they would do this. I think it would have been maybe neater to put it to where like his feet were kind of in there a little bit, but instead he's like very much standing on the cloud, almost perfectly, which is kind of interesting. I don't know exactly the lore details around that, but it is a cloud. Wearing the same armor, so same style of everything, just a different pose. Very cool. I'm glad they included Nimbus. I like that. All right, so let's go on and start with the turtle here. The turtle snake thing. Very, very cool. Wow. I was not expecting that. Like, that is a lot. Okay, so the snapping turtle itself looks incredibly scary. Like it's got like teeth and a mouth and like looks to be a strong jaw. It looks like a freaking dinosaur, right? Very, very cool. Love the texture on the skin. The shell is like really, really cool. It's got like these like weird kind of like holes on it and stuff like that, and a weird design, and then the space in between is like concave a little bit. But then the snake is like totally like coming out from inside and then wrapping itself around, and then right up here, mouth closed as it kind of looks like peers directly at you. Very, very cool design. I think that's awesome. That was way cooler than I was thinking. I don't know what I was thinking, but that's awesome. Okay, so we got that. We also have the little like smoke tiger kind of thing. So again, the smoke here looks really cool, very smooth, very, very smoky. And then the assembly here, I think actually ended up quite well, especially for the sun drop, the oil wash here. The actual texture of the mini is really, really cool. Maybe this is a little bit noticeable, but I think if you painted it, it wouldn't be as much. I think it actually is highlighted a bit because of that, the dry brush here. But the gap here is maybe a little bit more. The face, really, really cool. It's snarling, right? It's got the paws, I think, just right. It's got the little tufts of hair on the underarm and on the belly a little bit. Looks pretty accurate. Looks really cool. Looks different, that's for sure. I don't know if this is an assembly bit or not. I think it might be, in which case that's a bit obvious. It should look like it's curving out, like it's parted there, but I'm not sure that's actually parted. And again, if you painted it, it wouldn't look that obvious. It wouldn't have pulled in there to make a really dark streak like that. Next up, we got the bird. And he's tied in. So is the big dragon. So hold, please, while I open this. It's like I used to buy dolls for my girls all the time, and every single Barbie was always tied in like 2 to 3 times. They'd have like their wrists tied in and junk, and I'd have to do this constantly. But I'm glad that they're taking the time to make sure these things are kind of secure and staying nice during the shipment. That's kind of nice. So I'm actually more okay with this than like with tape. Tape, for whatever reason, just annoys me. All right, I think, oh, just dropped a whole bunch. What are you gonna do? I'll fix that later. Okay. Ugh. So, got it. Okay, I'll zoom out a little bit here for the bird. But my goodness, look at him. How cool is that? Very cool. I love the swoop back off the base even, and kind of swooping a little bit forward. But very much, it needs this like little extra weight here to make sure it doesn't like topple over. The outstretching kind of curvature of it is really cool. Again, we do have several different kinds of feathers progressing kind of similarly, though it doesn't have the like really tufty kind. That is right here, but not really on the top here. So we have a lot more of the textured kind here. But it looks really cool. It's got like, again, it's a phoenix, so there's like fire mixed into it and all that. It'd be a challenge to paint, but it'd be really cool when you were done with it, I'm sure. The beak looks cool. Again, I love the outstretched talons as well. It very much looks like it's like swooping back and its legs are kind of still out there. Not really like it's swooping forward. But yeah, very, very cool. I love it. I think that looks awesome. And again, if you painted that, it'll look glorious. All right, and the final mini for this box, and then we're on to the smallest expansion. Again, gotta get this piece out. And that's this bad boy. I know I've shown this to you before in resin. Here he is as the final one, and honestly, he looks the same to me. He looks fantastic. Like really, really cool, really good. I had this guy on display for a long time because he just looks awesome. The base is fantastic. The assembly looks really good. The like wispy hair and stuff look fantastic. Very well layered. It looks really cool in that regard. Just a cool, very spirally, right, as it wraps itself around. He's got his like 2 legs here and then 2 arms here, and that's really it. Everything else is just like tail. It looks great. It really, really does. Again, I love his hands kind of outstretched there. It looks very ferocious. His big old whisker kind of things, his like twisty, turny horns coming out there. Again, his teeth and his mouth and all that looks good. Just a cool mini. So that's it for this expansion. Again, a very cool expansion, I feel. We have one more box and then an art book and a dice tray and some metal coins. So let's go and jump in. All right, the last one, Jubei's Curse. Jubei's Curse. I'm not sure exactly which one it is. Jubei's, I don't know. We'll see what this one is. I actually don't remember this expansion. Looks great. Again, I'm loving the back art more than the front art. That has been a thing for every single box, I think. It is what it is. The side of it, that looks fantastic. Love it. But look at that. So cool. Very cool. All right. Oh, again, great. Great. Okay, let's see what we have for this one. I love the traditional art that they do here for these. Just looks so cool. Again, very much like the gear card there, right? So you can see, okay, well, I remember these. I just didn't remember that was part of an add-on here. Or maybe this was stretch goals or something like that. I'm not exactly sure how it ended up being, but I remember seeing that mini in particular. Yeah, looks great. We'll get a whole little campaign here for you. Lots of different stuff to do. Lots of game content. Here's your guy. Here's all the different things he can do here. He's got what? He's got Tactic, Dragon's Fang, Nimble Legs, the Death Cycle, and the Life Cycle. Then we have an envelope. Do not open. Do not open this. So I think there's some cards or something in there. Or maybe even a larger thing. Who knows? Either way, there's stuff in here. Don't open it yet, though. I'm not going to. Looks cool, though. Okay. Then we have this right here, which again looks great. I love the like ethereal blue rope looking kind of thing there. But I think it's actually just a little soft focus. Again, some more campaign stuff there. And we do have some boxes here that are numbered. I don't know if I can open those or not. I don't know. I'm not sure. Oh, don't open, don't open. What? Okay, I'll probably have a spoiler version for you guys. But again, I don't think anything's secret because it just showed you all the components, right? But maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe they haven't shown us all the components. What? And then actually, whoa, yeah, actually, I don't know because there's minis here. So let's go and start with the minis we see here, and then I might open those to show you just so you can see if you so choose. But maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe not. You know what? I'm not sure I will. I'll go and end the video. And if I'm going to open it up secretly, and if I think it's worthwhile to show you guys, and if you want to be spoiled, I'll kind of put it in there in editing, but perhaps not. Okay, so we got 3 minis here, all cool. Let's zoom in. So I got that art book to go into, guys. I'm excited. All right. Again, fantastic. Love the curved blade on this guy. That's really cool to see. And again, it's this one, and he has another blade right there as well. I love the like little broken head thing that's normally to help see, I believe, which is really cool. All the like straw stuff coming out here and the texture there is very cool. I dig that as well. I'm not sure what this is hanging here, but that's kind of neat. Again, the cloth is a highlight. I think they did a great job there. There is a little flare up here. So again, up here you won't notice how you normally see them, but if you pick them up, you will see that it's kind of flat here. It's actually not too bad because of the shape, but if there was a little bit of a ridge, I think that would add a little bit to it. But yeah, otherwise, very, very good. Again, I think the cloth is just fantastic. The assembly, I rarely even mention it because it's so good. So that's awesome to see. All right, and then we got bad guy number 1, who looks fantastic. Even the feeling of this, the spikes and junk, crazy. I'm already having to zoom out here. All right, there's that. So yeah, he looks great. The basing looks really good. Again, the armor, nice and crisp. The heads here look fantastic. Really, really good. You can see where they were cut off, which is gross. The armor, again, amazing. The rope, fantastic as always. The asymmetrical horn stuff, I'm always digging. This weapon here looks a little bent. I might need to bend it back a little bit, but that's really it. Otherwise, it looks great. The multiple like Goro style arms, fantastic. Skin, great. Hair, good. Assembly here maybe a little, that's a little flat, right, for the hair. It would have been nice to, you know, not have that quite so straight. Maybe again, a little strands. I'm not sure exactly how I'd opt to solve that, but yeah, it's a little noticeable. But otherwise, again, this looks great. This looks really, really good. Very ferocious, again, especially the facial feature. Look how deep his mouth is. That's really cool to see. All right, and then this guy, again, he's kind of tied in here, so bear with me while I unwind the tie down. I think this is the last miniature for the game, but I also want to really look at these coins as well. We have the metal coins too. All right, here is the King Oni, and again, fantastic. Just such a cool mini, so unique, very different from everything else. It's huge. I commented on this in the resin version, and I stand by it. I love the mud that, like, you see the footsteps where he has stepped, right, even back here. So you can see he's been dragging him through the mud like this. The pig itself looks really cool. The armor's really neat. The, like, chain is a really kind of vicious looking style chain, if that makes any sense. The hair, like, on the cheeks, and then the nostril, the teeth, all that looks really, really good. Then, of course, it's attached to this guy. He's got his wheels here, and you can see them actually going through the mud even. So you can see that as well. The spikes on the side of the wheels fit quite nice. All these skulls look incredible. Like, these are really, really good skulls. They make the Hate minis look like garbage. The fact that underneath here, I don't know if you see this or not, but it looks like a spine. You barely even see that, and yet they designed it to where it's literally like a spine with, like, rib cage bones underneath this chariot. Again, more skulls here all over the place. There's maybe a little bit of a soft one here. I'm not sure what's going on with that. Everything else I think looks really good. Bones here as well. The lanterns look fantastic. They're actually attached quite well, which is good. Good to see. The demon heads on spikes up here. The blade, I like all the little like pock marks in the blade. That looks super cool. That's different. I like how he's a little chunky, he's a little fat. Assembly looks good. I like his like jowls that are like hanging down here. It almost has kind of a crown, and even the like little tiny like you can see these like little dragging kind of things. Just cool. Just a cool mini. How fun is that? All right, so that's it for that. We're gonna go ahead and jump into the art book and dice tray and coins, and then we're done. You're out of luck, guys. All right, so I looked into these. The things that you unlock here are really, really cool, and I do not want to spoil those for you. So just know that this is not anything mentioned anywhere else. It's not shown anywhere else. So you don't know what's in this. It looks pretty wild. It looks like it's very narrative driven. There's several things inside of each, some more than others. Very, very cool. That's all I'm going to say about that, but you're not going to see it. You're not going to see it. You'll have to get it. Link down in the description below, I guess, if you want it. All right, now on to the other stuff. All right, we're going to be quick about this. Let's go ahead and do the dice tray. We'll wrap it up. I'll tell you some final thoughts, and we'll close out. I'll tell you right now, I think this is printed really, really, really cool. I almost wish it was reversible because I like both. The outside looks really cool. The inside looks really cool. Very, very pretty, design-wise. Sometimes they make it to where it makes sense for what's in the middle of the dice tray. Like that's like everything else is like the border, right? Because obviously this gets scrunched up and everything. It doesn't like they did that. They just took some really pretty art and put it in there. And so that is the dice tray there. Again, I think it looks quite pretty. Again, the outside looks cool too. Very, very cool. So yeah, that's nice. Stitched, very thick, very almost kind of stretchy. You get that little bit of give there, which really helps it flexible. Lays flat, looks great. All right, we got a rule book and we got some coins. So let's go ahead and look at the coins real quick because that'll be very quick. And we'll wrap up on the art book. Look at all the pretty art in this game and then move on. So again, we got 3 denominations. We got the 1s, the 5s, and the 25s. And yeah, they look like they're going to be really cool. They look like they're going to be nice. We'll take one of each. Then out. Again, I love like the different shapes are what I think I really like most about them. They're quite heavy when you add them all like this, that's for sure. But I like the fact that they have like holes in them and stuff like that. All right, I'll start with the 1 and then go from there. So let's zoom in a little bit because these are just coins. There you go. All right, so the color of this one, very, very cool. It's not nearly as shiny as the other ones. It's a little bit of a darker kind of brown. I'm not really seeing, like, I know that there's a seam there, but it's solid enough to where, there's a little bit there that you can kind of feel, but otherwise it feels like one piece, which is actually quite nice. Like, especially right here, that's really, really nice. So a little hit or miss on that, but either way, I don't feel like I can really bend it or anything like that. It's obviously not, the fanciest metal. These never are, but it makes the sound you want. It's heavier and it feels great. Here's the 5 here. And again, inside it looks fantastic. Obviously the little detail here looks really good. I love the like light to dark that it's getting there. It's a very nice gradient. That looks fantastic. Like really, really good. Outside here, you're getting kind of the same thing. It's fairly smooth, which is good. That feels great. But then every now and then you're going to get a little bit like this, right? That I really wish they would clean up a little bit. You could scrape this off. It's kind of like a metal mini. Or you could scrape it off even with a blade. But then because it's a wash, it would be very obvious otherwise. And the 25, this again feels great, looks great. Very shiny, very nice. Actually kind of not sharp points, but very crisp points there. And then that trim on here, again, on this one, almost perfect. A little kind of mess up there. And this is very common. This is pretty much the same kind of coin that I've seen on all other board games. So if you have metal coins from any other board game, this is pretty much how they are. Yeah, they look really cool. They're very neat. I like them. All right. And now the rulebook. Try not to mess this up if I can. I really don't want to. So hopefully that's enough to where I can loop it around. Maybe. Okay, I think I got it. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. Hardcover. And it looks like the print so far is good. Again, I've had some prints like the Rising Sun one that is far too dark. right? So it'd be interesting to see how this, but it looks like it printed quite well, what I can tell. Okay, so on the back is just the rest of the art. So it's actually kind of one picture. If you open it up, you can kind of see that. Okay, looks great. Okay. Even on the inside, that's nice as well. It looks like on the inside there, you get that one. That is fantastic. That's such a cool one. I love that one. Lays flat pretty well, so that's kind of nice. Here's a little bit about it, which is cool. They actually have like the text and art and layout, and they have all sorts of equipment and characters. Oh, I love this. This is one that you can actually read, which I appreciate. These make great like coffee table books, I feel, right? One of those things where you're like, oh, this is cool, and nobody knows about it, but you can actually read about it, get some lore and stuff like that. It's in both English and Spanish, which is neat. There you can very much see. So this is really where it's helpful for like painting, because you can look at this and really get a sense of those different arms, right? And how they're different than like the fact that the hands are gold and stuff like that. Really neat. So yeah, this is great. The art does quite match the mini, by the way, like pose wise, which is nice. I actually kind of appreciate that. And it looks like even the texture where they're at, which is also kind of neat. Here's some of the kami. Yeah, this is cool. This is neat. I know I'm not showing everything quickly, or I know I am showing everything quickly, but I'm actually not trying to show everything, which is kind of the whole point, right? I love that you can read about all of this, though. That's the fun part. I think that's great. Very, very cool. This is really highlighting a lot of that, I think, in a very cool way. Even just like the map, right? The two different maps, some of the equipment and armors and stuff like that. That's kind of neat. And even Nick's from Medora. Perfect. There you go. There's that. Guys, that was Harakiri Blades of Honor plus all the expansions. It looks fantastic. It's from an indie company that obviously cares about what they're doing, is doing a great job at it. Synergy Games, you should be proud of what you made. That is a fantastic unboxing experience. Minus the tape, but that's okay. I didn't even like sleeve anything. Obviously, they had sleeves, so you can make this really premium, really nice gaming experience. They are doing another campaign that's linked down in the description below. Feel free to check that out. Show them some support if it's a game that you think you'll like. I do have a earlier review of the prototype, which was a very in-depth prototype that went through several different missions and rounds and stuff like that. So hopefully you can appreciate that. I'll link down to that below as well, so you can get a little bit more info on it. But anyway, that was really cool. I'm sorry it took so long to get there, but I'm glad I finally did get to it. You guys have a great rest of your day. Take care. Bye, guys.